All right, so you want to learn C++. You go online, you search around, and you find it, the complete C++ tutorial. But then you see the runtime. It's nearly 10 hours long. That's a huge commitment. So is it worth it? Today, we're going to map out that entire journey for you so you can decide for yourself.
I mean, that's the big promise, right? One single video that teaches you everything. It sounds amazing, but let's be real. 10 hours is a massive chunk of your time. How do you know if you're signing up for a clear path to becoming a coder or just, a very, very long lecture?
Just let that number sink in for a second. 9 hours, 50 minutes, and 12 seconds. That's not a movie marathon. That's the complete C++ tutorial from Code Help by Babar. This isn't just a video. It's a full-blown digital bootcamp, all packed into a single YouTube link. Now, just to be super clear, we're not going to be writing any code today. Nope. Instead, think of us as your guide. We're going to give you the map to this entire 10-hour territory, breaking down what's inside so you can see exactly what you'd be getting into. Okay, let's start the tour.
So, we've structured our map into 5 main parts. First, we'll look at the overall challenge. Then we'll see how it gets you started with your first program. After that, it's the core fundamentals, then the more advanced stuff, and finally, we'll look at what the complete learning path looks like when you put it all together.
First things first, let's frame the challenge. What exactly is this tutorial promising to do? By understanding its scope, we can figure out who this course is really for, and if that includes you. Every coder's journey starts with that very first line of code, right? Well, this tutorial totally gets that. It begins with the absolute essentials, and it really focuses on making those first steps feel manageable, even if you've never coded a day in your life. So it starts by tackling that first big hurdle, just getting your coding environment set up. It's got dedicated guides for both Mac and Windows users, which is awesome. And once you're all set up, you dive right in to write your first program. A classic Hello World, but with a cool Namaste Dunya twist. Okay, with the setup out of the way, the course moves into the core fundamentals. This is the part where you go from just typing commands to actually understanding how a program thinks. This is where the real learning begins.
This is really the engine room of the tutorial's first few hours. You learn how to store information using variables, how to actually interact with a user, and most importantly, how to make your code smart by using control flow, if-else statements, to make decisions.
Next up, it dives deep into one of programming's greatest superpowers, loops. This is how you teach a computer to do a boring, repetitive task thousands of times without ever complaining. The course covers all the essential loop types before handing you a full toolkit of C++ operators to do all your calculations and comparisons.
And this is where you can really see the course's ambition. It doesn't just skim the surface. It actually gets into some foundational computer science, like how computers see numbers in binary. Then it introduces functions, which are basically like creating your own custom-named tools that you can use over and over again. Super powerful stuff.
This timeline gives you a fantastic sense of the pace. Think about it. In just the first hour, you're already writing code. Hit hour 3, and you're mastering loops. By hour 6, you're organizing data with arrays, and by the 9th hour, you're diving into one of C++'s most famous and tricky topics, pointers. So with that solid foundation built, the course starts adding the second and third stories to the house. This is where it gets into more advanced territory, showing you the features that really give C++ its reputation for being so powerful and, a little complex.
This whole section is about handling data at a bigger scale. The path here is super logical. It starts with how to manage simple lists of numbers, then it moves to characters, and finally, it shows you how to combine them into strings, which are the absolute bedrock of working with text.
And listen, this right here, this is what separates a basic tutorial from a serious one. It doesn't shy away from the hard stuff. The course dives headfirst into pointers and memory management. These are the concepts that give you direct control over the computer's memory, and you absolutely have to master them to be a serious C++ developer.
So, we've seen all the individual pieces of the puzzle. But what does this whole journey look like when you zoom out and view the entire map, from start to finish?
What you get is this single, continuous road. It starts at the very beginning with, how do I even install this thing? And it takes you all the way to a deep understanding of really advanced C++ concepts. The whole thing is designed to take a complete beginner and turn them into someone who can confidently handle some of the language's toughest features. And that brings us to the final question, and it's the one only you can answer. Now that you've seen the entire 10-hour map laid out, from Namaste Dunya all the way to dynamic memory, is this marathon the right race for you to run? The path is clear. The choice is yours.